Hey, let me close the door real quick. I hit 300 subscribers. Yep, we did it. We hit 300 subscribers, baby. Didn't think this would happen. I thought that like the most I'd ever get was 100. But we hit 300, which is awesome. So, instead of doing another manga collection video, which I like doing, I just don't want to do them like every month or whatever what I do now. I thought I'd do a bit of a different video. I'm ranking every single series that I've completed. Today I finished the 30th series. This isn't, I'm ranking my top 30 favorite series. This is the top 30 series that I've read. Spoiler alert, Blue Lock, one of my favorite series of all time, is not on this list because I haven't completed it. It isn't done, nor is it fully printed in English. Same thing with Blue Period. Blue Period isn't fully printed in English. It just came back from its hiatus. It barely, it hasn't finished yet. It would be on here. It hasn't finished it, so it's not on this list. That's why. And it's not a top 30 list either. This is just all of the series, but there happens to be 30 of them. So that's how we roll. Obviously this is a ranking video, so I'm going to go from worst to best. I'm just going to start it now. I don't want this video to be too long, so let's get on with it. In last place is Blackguard. This, I have a pretty reputable hatred towards this series. Not hatred. It's just boring as hell. It's so not good. All the characters kind of suck. None of them are really well written. The romances seem super artificial. The art just isn't good. The premise, I feel like I've seen it like thousands of times. I mean, there are some moments in here that are really, really good. All the character designs just kind of suck. Like, this series is just not great. It has like a kind of a cool world and like a cool like sci-fi type world. With like interesting type zombie like things, but other than that, I just don't care as much for the series. Like, I don't really have like a big positive I could give it. None of the writing is anything special or like good. I could say it has a fun cast of characters, but I don't know what you would qualify as fun. So yeah, this series goes in dead last at number 30. At number 29, which isn't as bad, but it's still not great. Just like, okay, 5 out of 10. Ayashimon. I would put this at like a 4 or 5 out of 10. It's not bad per se. It's just not good either. I would never give this manga like a reread. I'll probably sell it soon, but I don't know. This series is just okay. Like, I mean, the concept is interesting, but the monsters are kind of weird. The characters are a bit boring. The writing isn't super stand out, except for the main character, who has a very interesting motivation and plot. That is different, and, you know, it's cool to think about, but after, like, the first couple chapters, it gets pretty stale. I wouldn't say it's anything special. Makes sense it got axed, but I do think this series would have got a lot better with time. I do think it would have got, like, a lot better, like Hell's Paradise did. Because I could tell it was cooking up something. It just needed a little bit more time in the oven, in my opinion. At number 28, I have a one-shot. We're going to see a lot of one-shots here. Ride Your Wave. I don't know. Series, this is okay. This is one of my first, I think it was my first review on this channel. It sucked. Don't watch it. But, it was a good manga. I think it's, like, biggest, like, con is that it's just way too short. Like, it's not even this entire volume. It's like this. It's like this. I don't know how to like describe it. It's like this part, like this like big section right here. Like, it is barely a part of the series. Like, I mean, where is it? Where does it actually end? Because I know, like, halfway through it, you just get run into right here. This is where it ends. This is the ending of the manga. And then there's side stories. Like, I don't care about the side stories. So, if you really want the best experience with this manga, fucking read the side stories first and then read the actual manga. Honestly, side stories should have came before the actual manga so I could get actually attached to these characters. Don't matter. At number, 30, 29, 28. At number 27, we have, this kind of counts but kind of doesn't. It's 1721 Before Chainsaw Man. Now, I was debating counting this as a series with, let's grab it from the shelf. With this volume, I didn't know to count this as one series or to have two different series. They're both short story collections, so I just included them as one thing. It's kind of hard to rank short story collections. I have it here. I don't have a particular reason why, though. It's good. Like, there's some stories in here that I really, really like. I like the last story about, like, this vampire guy who hires a hitman girl to kill him and then, like, fall in love. That's a nice story. I like the story about the guy who, like, catches a bullet. I like the story about the guy who, tries to confess to his, like, love or whatever. It's pretty funny. The chicken story kind of sucked. I didn't care about that story. I thought all the aliens were ugly and just didn't care for the plot. I can't remember stories from there. But there were some others I just, like, didn't care about at all. But yeah, it was pretty good. Like, there was another one about, like, mermaids or something I didn't care about either. Like, you know, it's very hit or miss, but it's Tatsuki Fujimoto, so it's gonna be good. I just don't really know where to rank it, so I put it down here. Alright, at number 26, we have a manga that is not a manga, is a manhwa, I think. But I don't really know where to, like, put this. It's, what do they call it? The Kingdom of the Gods. Weird title, because this isn't really about the gods, but whatever. First off, first thing I have to say, the art is fantastic. Look, I could turn to, like, a random page. Look at this art. Like, this art is literally just beautiful. Like, look at this. Like, this, it looks amazing. Story-wise, this has, like, 2 short stories in it. There's one about a prince, like a vagabond-type samurai guy, and another girl, I think she's, like, a nurse. They're, like, traveling or whatever. The prince is, like, gonna pay the vagabond to, like, protect him so they can go to their kingdom. And there's, like, a zombie apocalypse. And in the second story, I think it's about, like, 2 cannibals fighting to eat a girl. And they're, like, bitter enemies, but they're rivals, but they're kind of friends, but they're bitter enemies. I like the second story more, I guess. Both stories are pretty okay, at least writing-wise. Art propels this so much higher. If this had, like, Blackguard art, it might be lower than Blackguard. But the art is just so freaking good. It's so, like, clean and crisp. There's not, like, too many words where I'm getting jumbled up, but there's not too little where I'm just flipping through pages, like, it's just creasing over my mind. It's, like, really great art-wise. But, like, the story and characters I just don't really care about all that much. Honestly, I think they should have just had either the first story just be the entire volume. I didn't really care about the second. I liked the second story. It was entertaining more, but I think the first story hit more on an emotional level, I would say. But the first story didn't hit that much on an emotional level, so it doesn't really matter. Next, at 25, you might be surprised it's down this low, or you might be surprised it's down this high, up this high. We have Demon Slayer. I did a review on this. You could check it out, I guess. It was probably awful. I don't remember it. I just remember doing a review. Wow, that's... Holy shit. Sorry, just looking at, like, this manga gives me, like, nostalgia. Because this is one of my first manga. I think it was, like, my 3rd manga I've, like, ever bought. Yeah, first manga I ever bought. I remember buying the box set from Walmart. Can you believe it? From Walmart. But yeah, this series is okay. I had fun with it. I remember reading through it, like, super, super quick, but I don't remember, like, actually caring, you know, for the plot or anything. Art is super, like, okay. The art, when it comes to, like, characters just talking, is, honestly, this might be crazy, it's kind of good. It's, like, not good at all, like if you look at the actual art, like it's like not good at all, but it has its charm, and it's like such a bad charming that I actually kind of like it. Not like Blackguard or anything like that. Like Blackguard's art is just plainly bad, but this artwork is actually like pretty, like it's just charming. It's charming. But when they get into fight scenes, ugh, it's awful. I like can't even tell what's happening. Every single, I mean, I could run through my pros and cons of this series. I'll just go with the pros because I think everyone kind of has the same cons. And I don't think people talk about the pros of Demon Slayer a lot, even though it definitely has pros. First off, the tone in the story and the atmosphere and vibe is great. Like the author did like a perfect job nailing down like the specific tone that they wanted to like use in the story. Characters, not very well written, but they're fun, they're dynamic. Not dynamic characters, I mean they're dynamic in personality. Like they're over here, like they're extroverts, you know? They're Rengokus. Every character has like a certain character trait that you can latch onto that will basically make or break the character. Rengoku, he's flame and fabulous and he yells all the time and he's has a heart of will and set your heart ablaze or whatever. And Tengen, he wants everything to be fabulous and like he's a JoJo's character. And Mitsui wants to find love and or Mitsuri, I don't fucking know. Mitsuri wants to find love, and the Mist guy is forgetful all the time, and he's soft spoken, and like the Wind dude is angry all the time. Sanemi, I think. Like every character, like at least the Hashira are kind of like that. Same thing with the main characters: Tanjiro, nice; Inosuke, angry; Zenitsu, emotional. Like it's like just those. There's not much depth to this, but I would say that it's a pretty fun series. Just like seeing the characters just go and like move around and stuff. Like it's not awful or anything. And some of the flashbacks are actually pretty sad. Like I'm not like I'm giving it its flowers, as the flashbacks are actually pretty good. I think the author uses them a bit too much, but I think they are pretty good overall. Alright, next we have, I'm going to try to go through this a little bit quicker. What is that? Next, we have number 24, Dissolving Classroom. This is the second Junji Ito manga I read. It's also my least favorite. I don't know. It's okay. It's like okay. I don't really know how to talk about this very much. I'm gonna have the same review I'm gonna have for this, but with Uzumaki. I just think the horror in Uzumaki is better. Characters not written well, like at all. That's the thing with Junji Ito. He's just not good at writing for some reason. But the horror is fantastic. Like it's unrivaled how good this is. Like I was reading like the pages of the freaking girl eating brains and shit, and I was like getting upset. Like this is disgusting. This is just awful. And I don't really do that when I read horror manga very much. I don't read much horror manga, but I don't really do that very much. So, you know, on the list or whatever. Next, we've got number 23, Look Back by Tatsuki Fujimoto. I've read almost all of the English printed, actually I have read all of the English printed Tatsuki Fujimoto stuff, except for a couple volumes of Chainsaw Man that I'm saving. Fire Punch, probably my favorite out of all of his, Chainsaw Man's probably my favorite, but Look Back, I didn't really get. I feel like with Tatsuki Fujimoto's works, you kind of need to get it, and you'll like it, or if you don't get it, you'll just kind of be disconnected from it. I think these are one of these works I don't really get. It's about like this girl who tries to like draw manga, and there's another girl who like draws better than her, so she keeps trying and trying and trying, and eventually when she tries super hard and she thinks she'll succeed, she takes she nowhere near the girl's level, so she quits. That I can relate to. But then like the rest of it, I was just really confused by. I thought like the girl died or something, and then it was confusing. It was a sad ending. Don't get me wrong. It was a good ending. It just had me super confused, and the ending just wasn't great. But the middle part was really, really good. Tatsuki Fujimoto is always great with artwork and paneling, so I understand why. Like I understand like how good it is and stuff. I really like these scenes when we'll get scenes like this where it's like double page spreads of them just making manga. I think that's super cool. And like them creating different characters and stuff. I love the characters. I don't really have much to say about it. I don't really remember it much anyway either. So I'm not even going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. Alright, next we have, this one might be a bit confusing, but stay with me. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 1. This isn't Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. I haven't read those parts. Like, I haven't even picked up Volume 2. Or I haven't picked up Volume 1 of Part 2 yet. I only have the first 3 volumes, and the only 3 volumes of Part 1. It's down here. It's not great. I'm not even going to talk about why. I think most people know why it's not great. Let me just say, if you read Part 1 of JoJo's, I'm guessing that's not what people like about the series. Like, I'm guessing people actually like more of JoJo's than what Part 1 was letting. I didn't like it very much. It's up there just because it's like one of the newer ones I read, and I like remember it. And I really like Dio. He's like super cool, but you know. Alright, next we have this manga that freaked me out, man. It's called Drip Drip. It's a fucked up manga. I loved it though. It's by Paru Itagaki, who made Beastars. I need Paru Itagaki to make more manga because she is a fucking amazing mangaka. She just makes like fucking amazing works everywhere she goes. I don't know how she does it. And this is one of them. This is great. This is a great manga. I loved it. I really liked it. I think we're getting into a point where I'm starting to get into manga I actually like. This is one of them. Drip Drip was just like really solid. Like, it's like had a really interesting premise about like this woman, and like if she gets dirty, her nose bleeds like really, really bad. And it's kind of like what's it called? Like I wouldn't say a metaphor, but like it's talking about like trusting your gut, I think, but also like talking about like lying and how lying can destroy relationships. And it's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I also have no clue what the story's about. But it's great. It's great. I loved it. And then the story at the end with her and Santa or whatever, where like she's like trying to fuck a dude or something, and then Santa like she just meets Santa, and Santa's just like, "Oh, here are your gifts. I forgot to give these to you. I'm so sorry." And then like she was like that's so cute. Can you over you and Japan? Like, I love this. I love the Santa story. It's so wholesome. Paru Itagaki needs to make more manga, bro. She just does. She just does. She needs to. Her art style is also incredible. I mean, it's not great, but I love it. It's like her personalized style, and it's so charming. Next, we have a thick boy, Uzumaki. Every problem I said about Drifting Classroom applies to this, but the horror is a lot better. Spiral shit, fucking scary as hell. Got me a lot more than Drifting Classroom did, of just eating brains. It was disgusting, don't get me wrong, but this just got me a lot more. After that, we have a manga I don't really talk about very much. Why? Because I don't think highly of it very much. Well, I do. I'm saying like I don't like these manga. These are like 8 out of 10s to me, okay? And 8 out of 10s is like amazing, like spectacular. Number 9s are almost perfect. 10s, perfection, masterpiece. You're not going to see a lot of those. Golden Sheep, the Golden Sheep, the titular Golden Sheep. Just a really mature, honest story. Thought it could be a bit longer. Also, some of the characters made choices that I didn't really understand. Didn't seem like real people to me. Dialogue felt a bit cringy at times, but also was really, really good. And it has a great scope of like timeline. Like it'll start off with like a pivotal moment in the story, and then it'll basically do the you wonder how I got myself in this mess. You know, it'll basically do that, and it'll rewind a little bit. Kind of reminds me of Boys Abyss, which is not a good thing. This is gonna sound weird, but I really like the sequence where Sora is like buying things to like commit suicide, if that makes sense. I think I don't know if it's in this volume, but I just remembered it. It's a great sequence. It's like a first person shot of Sora like buying shit to like kill himself, and then he's like, man, should I buy something else? Should I do this? Or like, it's really, really well done. All the characters are really well done. It's great character writing. Story definitely not that great. Writing, it's not perfect, but we'll take what we can get. Like I'm just talking about like dialogue, it's not perfect. Art, it's okay. It's got like that basics, like kind of shoujo, but also kind of not shoujo style. It's not really shoujo, but it kind of reminds me of shoujo a lot. It's interesting though. It's an interesting manga to read. You'll like it if you read it. Next, we have just like one of my favorite one shots. All You Need Is Kill. This is kind of a one shot, kind of not a one shot. It's 2 volumes in one, so it's a 2 shot technically. It's really good though. It's like really, really good. It reminds me, the movie, there was like a Tom Hanks movie based off this thing, I think. Reminds me of that. It's really good. It's about this guy basically he's in a time loop, and he's like trying to get out of the time loop by fucking surviving at the end of the day. Why doesn't he just stay there? Like, oh, he needs to survive by the end of the day. Why doesn't he just call in sick? Like, bro, you have like, what are they going to do? Oh, you're calling in sick? Fuck you. We're kicking you out. Or we're killing you. You got the next day, bro. Just call in sick. You'll be fine. Like, bro, why didn't he get... I'm joking. And then there's a pretty big twist in the middle, and then there's a really nice like scene and like around the end, and then the ending is pretty sad. It's not anything crazy though. It's a really good overall solid manga. Honestly, if I was getting someone into manga, or I was trying to, this would be the first thing I recommend. Honestly, there's not much anime isms in that manga. Next, we have a cult classic on this channel. One of my first ever manga, one of my most, dastardizing manga reviews, A School Frozen in Time. I still remember this comment. I don't know if you're still on this channel, but I still remember this comment. It was a comment that was explaining to me the ending of this. I read the entire thing, and I still did not get the ending. So thank you for that, though. It was very long, but thank you. First 3 volumes, fantastic, amazing, great, by the artist of Your Lie in April, which we'll see later in the video. I didn't get the ending. The ending's like one of the worst endings I've ever read in manga. It like felt way too complicated. I didn't get it. Like, it felt way too happy ending-ish. I kind of wish all the characters died at the end. As sad as that is, but I kind of wish all the characters did die. Even though a lot of them, I did like most of these. Actually, I liked all these characters. The author gave each character a compelling backstory that entangled with their character, that didn't make it seem like it was out of nowhere, and that made it relate to the overall plot. And it's very good. And they're not like super, super incredibly sad backstories. They're sad, but they're not like fucking tear bait backstories, but they're all pretty good. Alright, next we got one of the most disgusting manga I've ever read. Maybe the most disgusting. And it's not a Junji Ito manga. It's a Shuzo Oshimi manga. Makes sense. It's Flowers of Evil. If you've read Flowers of Evil, you know why. It's a great showcase on what someone can do to manipulate and destroy a young teenage boy. Like how easy that is. And also, it's a great showcase on the kind of healthiness of pretensionism, of like being pretentious, but also like the unhealthiness of it, if that makes sense. It doesn't. I know it doesn't, but if you read the manga, you would get it. I'm gonna gatekeep the manga real quick. If you've read it, you would get it, but you haven't, so I'm gonna move on. I don't really know how to talk about it. Next, we have a series by the same author, and I just think this manga is a bit better. It's Happiness. Really liked Happiness. Not a great ending. Kind of fell apart at the end, but the ending like sequence, amazing. Loved it. So, like the actual ending of like the volume of like the 10th volume, I don't really know. I liked it, but I don't really know. But this is great, man. It's like just great. Like it's like just a great manga. It's about vampires. Read it. It's like super super good. But it's not about like your titular vampire or typical vampire. It's like just a story about vampires, but like actual cool vampires. I don't really know how to explain stuff, okay? It's late at night. I'm going crazy. Alright. After that, we have a little manga called Planetess. Probably gonna do a review about this. Loved it. Great manga, honestly. It's so good. I don't have much to say about it for the fact that I don't really know what to talk about, if that makes sense. This first like volume, it's good. Second volume, a lot better. Main character, this guy on the cover right here, I think, is the main character. Yeah. Weird, because we actually meet someone in the first chapter, and I thought he was going to be the main character, but no, he became like a side character at the end. We were just like developing his story. But it's just a great manga. Like, I really just like it very, very much. Pretty episodic, in my opinion. I think it's a bit too episodic. But it's still great. It's really just about, like, sometimes you have to give away the goal in order to fully love the people that deserve your love. If that makes sense. I said a lot. Doesn't make sense at all, but if that makes sense. Oh, okay, awesome. Sorry, I just got a notification. My bad. Yeah. I don't know. Fucking good manga, bro. Good manga. Next, I got Fire Punch. I talked about Fire Punch. I finished it, completed it. It's great. Kind of weird though. It's a weird manga. I would say ending fucking crazy, bonkers. Don't like. I love it. I love the ending. Still confuses me to this day. The main girl becomes like the Tree of Life or something, and the dude like joins her in the Tree of Life, and it's like 8 billion years in the future, and they're like dancing together or something. I don't know how that works. Also, what doesn't make sense to me, if Agni aged while he was on fire, how does that work? Does he just hit puberty and then stop aging? Because 8 billion years in the future, he looks the exact same. How does an immortal person... Is it just you hit puberty and you stop aging? Like, I don't know. He doesn't look like he just hit puberty. He looks like a fucking 40-year-old man in this manga. Doesn't look like 18. Whatever. Sometimes things just don't make sense in manga, and I understand. It's a great manga though. Watch my video on I'm creating Fire Punch into an anime. Great video in my opinion. Not enough people have watched it. I love that video. I put a lot of work into it. Probably do that for another series, but just a little bit shorter. And then yeah, we'll see where we go from there with the videos at least. I don't really know how to talk about this manga though. It's impressive as hell. The art is beautiful. Paneling is great. It's Tatsuki Fujimoto at least. Fight scenes are incredible. Villains pretty lackluster, except for Doma. Doma is a great villain because he's not really a villain, but he's a villain, but he's not really a villain. Togata is my favorite character. She's great, or he's great. I don't actually remember. I think she prefers she. So I'll go with that. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember. I remember they had like a giant argument about her being trans though. What else? What else? What else about this manga? Agni, great main character. I love how Tatsuki, keep calling him Tatsuki. I love how Fujimoto explores this like person, and he like just tries to break this person, like the actual character, as much as possible, even though he like can't be broken. You know, I love how he's like pulling the elastic, like the rubber band, even though he knows that it can't snap. I love that. I really really like that. Next, we are in our top 12 best completed manga. There's a manga I just completed today, Blue Giant. Hey, it matches my shirt. Blue Giant's just fantastic. It just is. Like, don't freaking question it, man. It's like, it's in the middle part, it's definitely repetitive. I would say sometimes some of it is just like, oh, they go to a thing or whatever. They go to like a bar, and then they sing their song, and then they go to another bar and they sing their song. So it's like that sometimes. It's pretty repetitive. Character introductions, I don't talk about that much, fucking suck. He does not do character introductions well. One of the characters, like the main character's like pissing, and the other character just looks over and is like, God damn, bro. Gee, how do you walk around with that thing? And it's just like, he's likable already. That I can relate. I can relate, you know, like it's not a great character introduction. Character designs aren't that great either. This main character right here, one of the characters who plays the drums looks exactly like him, and sometimes I can't tell who's talking. And that's someone who reads manga on the daily, who usually can't tell colors in manga. So, you know, do with that what you will. But the premise is great. The ending is fantastic. I can tell it's leading up to a sequel manga. Hopefully they release it in English. I would be really sad if they didn't, but hopefully they do. 7 C's, please, just release it in English. Yeah, just a great manga overall, I would say. The high highs balance out the low lows, I'd be honest. Okay. After that, we have manga. I'm going to speed run through these manga because we're getting to the 30-minute mark. I'm trying to make this video as short as possible. Just running through it as fast as possible. Next, we have Hide and Closer. Hide and Closer, pretty simple plot line. You've usually seen it before. It's a very classic shonen. It feels like a very classic shonen. Characters are written pretty well. Main point on why this is so high, ending, fantastic. One of the best endings I've ever read in manga, period. Like, it's so freaking good. Like, it's just perfect. Like, it's just a perfect ending for the entire story. It feels like the author made the ending before he made the entire manga. Like, it feels like he, like, wrote the ending before he wrote the entire manga. He thought of the ending before he, like, even thought of, like, the premise of the manga. Next, we have A Silent Voice. It's very good. I don't even need to tell you why. Just watch the movie. I heard it's better. I chose to read the manga. I would just say that there's a lot of characters, a lot of side characters. You get backstories in this manga that I feel like we just don't need, like, and we just like don't care about very much. I mean, we care about the characters, but they just don't really need backstories. There's also some characters in here. There's like 2 girl characters who are straight up just bitches for like no reason. Like, they're literally just mean. Like, what? Like, you're literally a senior in high school and you're bullying a deaf kid for no reason. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Next, we have a very dear series to my heart, Gantz. Let's go through this quick. Main character, some of the best character development I've ever seen. The ending always hits me so goddamn hard. Because just seeing how far the main character has grown throughout the entire series. His relationship with his girlfriend is so wholesome and so amazing. It's so heartbreaking to like see them like scream their names out. Oh my, it's like so good. All the side characters get like really good endings around the end. The final arc of this manga is fucking incredible. Like, I can't even stress how like amazing this final arc was. It's just so good. Main criticisms, a lot of the female characters just aren't written well, like, at all. At least earlier in the manga, characters like Reika and Teiko, and I think these are the only two female characters I can remember. But there was another one. Those two characters, written really, really well, but there's a character here that's, like, wants to be, like, fucking the main character's pet or something. Like, I don't even remember. She had, like, red hair or something. That's how I remember. Also, the art, I think, uses CGI. I don't know if it's CGI or, like, 3D art or whatever it is. Uses it a bit too much. Later volumes, it looks stunning. Like, I don't even know how you create that. But, like in some places, it just doesn't look good. Especially when they're, like in this volume, like, the black suits just don't look the best. Yeah, I mean, I don't have many criticisms with it either. I think the ending was definitely rushed, but I think it's still, like, a fantastic ending all around. After that, we have a manga I don't talk about very much. It's because I don't really got much to say. That's Goodnight Poon Poon. It's high. Yeah, everybody has Goodnight Poon Poon high. Every single person who has read Goodnight Poon Poon has this in their, like, top 50 at least. And the only reason I say top 50 and not top 10 is because I'm the only person who has it in their top 50 and not top 10. I don't even know if I have it in my top 20. I think I do. I don't have any problems with this, except, I have to say it, all the Poon Poon shit, 10 out of 10, like, whatever. It's like 10 out of 10 stuff. It's so masterfully drawn, written, performed. Like, I can't even express to you how good it is. And then I turn the page, and the next 10 chapters are about some fucking Pegasus shit. Oh my fucking god. Oh, the world is filled with black spots, and we need to get rid of... Shut the fuck. I cannot tell you how bored I was for the entire time that this, like, Pegasus guy was on screen. He went from, like, a minor character to the second storyline running along with Poon Poon. And I get it. It's supposed to be funny, maybe. It's not at all. It's not funny. It's, like, barely well written. I, like, have no clue what it was entailing. I don't understand what the purpose was for the Pegasus shit. Like, I just don't understand. There's literally a section in the manga where the Pegasus dude is on TV, and he's just talking on the TV for, like, 13 pages. And it's just panel after panel after panel after panel of him talking. That's literally it. And it's not anything meaningful. It's like, I'm going to get rid of the world of black spots, and the door of justice will be mine, and the god of the Pegasus will be thoroughly valued, and we will all go to the creation of heaven, and Go back to the good shit, bro. Go back to the gold mine you already got. This series could be like a third, like a third of the runtime, but you just have to put fucking Pegasus shit in there. You just don't need it. You just don't. Next. After that, we've got Beastars. I love Beastars. I'm not going to talk about why. I talked about it in Drip Trip. Beastars is just fucking fantastic, man. I get it. It's furry shit, but it's also kind of not furry shit. There's a lot of nudity and, like, sexual content in this manga, but it's never fan service. Like, I can't think of a single time, at least in the manga, I know in the anime they have some fan service scenes, but in the manga, where there's, like, an insane amount of fan service. I mean, there's a little bit of fan service, but especially they introduce, like, this one bunny character in there, who's literally there to, like, train Legoshi and be fan service. But Hold on, what is this panel? Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry, it just gives me fucking chills, man. That's gives me chills looking back on it. Like, it's literally nostalgic. Yeah, I like don't have much to talk about the series though. It's just fucking amazing. Like, it's so well written. It's so well drawn, surprisingly. I love the art in this manga. I love the paneling. It's so like Tokyo Ghoul-esque kinda. It's so very unique. Um, tense scenes are very tense. Like, this is what I'm talking about the art. Hold on, let me get to the panel. I saw it. I literally saw it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Like, these like panels right here are so menacing and so well drawn. It's just so good. Next, wow, we have a lot of volumes on the floor. Next we have, oh, it's not even the last one shot. Then the next volume is the last one shot. Next series. We have Tatsuki Fujimoto's Goodbye Eri. It's just fucking amazing. Like, I keep saying how amazing these manga are. They just are. Like, I don't even know how to explain why I love this so much. It gives me, and you'll see it later in the video, it's number 2, by the way. It gives me a lot of Your Lie in April vibes. Especially the ending. There's so many plot twists in this manga that I just didn't see coming. Especially the ending. Like, it's just so good. It's so heartwarming, but also so heartbreaking. It's like one of those manga where you read it and you're confused, and you just think about it and think about it and think about it, and it starts to make more and more sense. And it's fucking beautiful, man. And the ending is so abstract, and is like, you can take away so much or so little. It's really your choice. And it's like, it's just so good. It's so good. I don't even know how to explain it. Tatsuki Fujimoto has like a power to evoke so much or so little emotion out of me. He's not very funny. I'll give him that. I've never really laughed at Tatsuki Fujimoto's work. But when he wants to like bring emotion out of you and make you feel, he just fucking knows how to do it. He just fucking switches the lever on. Fucking asshole. Alright. Oh shit. I almost broke a volume. Next, we've got Grass. This is a heavy volume. I don't really know how to explain this. I did a video where I did 10 different manga reviews in one video, and I had this volume in there. I had this manga. And it's so hard to talk about. It's a manhwa, technically. And it's about like this girl's life in the like Korean and Japanese war. And it's like this little girl turning into an adult. And it's just heartbreaking. There's no like happy moments. There's not a single like, oh, the day can be saved. It is like, it feels like, and this is ironic because it's literally what the manga's about. It feels like when your grandparents are telling you about their life. And like, this is like the manhwa. It's a manhwa for that. And it's just such an interesting and introspective read. It's also very heartbreaking. And it's not like pretentious at all, which is surprising. At least in my opinion. If you think it's pretentious, that's fine with you. But it feels like the author's not trying to create any crazy metaphors. I don't even know if it's she or he. I guess she. She like puts out like the most beautiful but also the most disturbing scenes, imagery, and like thought-provoking things that happen in real life, and just puts it on a silver platter, not dressing it up, not like changing it in a certain way. It kind of just feels uncomfortable, but it's like you need to experience this uncomfortableness, and it's just so good. It's just so good. It's just so good. Alright, next, we've got Slam Dunk. I brought it very close to the camera because I just felt like it. Also, this video is getting way too long. So I'm going to speed through these last 4 series because I've already talked about all 4 of them, I think. Slam Dunk, I'm going to do a review on this eventually. I just haven't gone around to it. On why I love this series so much. It's basically basketball haiku, but with better art. But I like haiku more. Next, we have Zecharaizon. I don't know if I made a review on this, but I think I talked about it in a reading log. It became my 4th favorite manga of all time. Or I guess now my 5th, because The Boxer has moved up too. Yeah, JH just knows how to make me cry, which is like really weird. I don't know why he would know me personally how to make me cry. That's fucking fucked up, dude. What the shit? Just laughed at my own joke. It's great. I do that all the time here. We love the Victor family here. The Horizon's just a fucking masterpiece, man. It doesn't overstay its welcome, but it doesn't feel rushed either. It perfectly implements, like, it just injects you with sadness. That's it. But it's also so incredibly thought-provoking and beautiful and mesmerizing. And it's so, like, I reread this manga recently, and there's so many tiny little details that I missed on a reread. It's so fantastic. And I love the themes of how human suffering is still human. Like, it's so good. It's such an interesting topic to talk about, and I think it handles it with so much maturity. It talks about a lot of, like, war and a lot of, like, stuff that happens in war and stuff like that. And it handles it so mature. It doesn't make jokes. I don't think there's a single joke in this manga. It doesn't make jokes about it. It doesn't make light about it. It kind of like grass. It serves it on a silver platter, and it shows you the cruel, dark, and just almost pathetic world that we live in if we are, like, put to our own devices. And that's not like some government propaganda that I'm trying to share. No. But at the end, it kind of disproves its message. It's so, I've had a lot of my friends read this, and they've all had different reactions by this manga. Some said it was about a story about forgiveness and hope and finding hope again. Others have thought that it's talked about the meaning of life and what that means to everyone else. I personally think this story is about the essence of suffering and how important that is to all of us. That's what I personally think the story is about. But honestly, it's a story where you can get any type of interpretation that you want, really. Except for a happy interpretation. I don't know how the hell you would make that happy. Next, we have Your Lie in April. I said this was going to be number 2. It's number 2. What do I have to say? This ending still haunts me to this day. Like, I will go through my day, spoiler alert for all these series. I'll go through my day just, like, walking around and be like, damn, can't believe she's fucking dead. What's her name? Oh, yeah, Miyazono. When he meets Kaori Miyazono. Kaori, one of my favorite characters in manga. Literally, I'll, like, walk around my house and be like, damn, can't believe she's fucking dead. Like, I'll never see her again. I'll never talk to her again. That's fucking awful. Like, I will have, like, grief and trauma from a fictional character dying. Like, how do you even do that? Alright. Finally, I know no one's here at the end of the video. I know. Just give me pity. Haikyuu. I know. It's my favorite series of all time. What are you gonna do about it? Fucking cry me a river. It's number 1. It's at the top. Nothing will ever beat it. The Boxer almost did. I'll be honest, The Boxer almost beat Haikyuu. But I've only read 5 volumes of the Boxer. I read all 45. I almost 45. Yeah, I've read all 45 volumes of Haikyuu. So, toss and turn. Maybe when the Boxer releases all 45 of their volumes, I'll like it more. We'll see. This video has hit the 50-minute mark on the dot. I think it's time for me to go. I love doing these types of videos where I just talk about manga. I know nobody watches them, and that's perfectly fine with me. You really don't have to. I just love it. I just love it. So, I will bid you farewell. Goodbye.